Sequencing emotion in a delicate formation. Numerology's wisdom is a language of vibration. Welcome to the Numerology Hour. Host Kelly Brickle is a numerologist, psychic medium, and teacher. Her passions are learning about the soul and energy. Whether it's working with spirit, emotion, or vibrational numbers, precision and heart always enters the equation. Now, here is your host of the Numerology Hour, Kelly Brickle.
Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to the Numerology Hour on Sacred Spiral Network. I'm Kelly Brickle, and this is the show which is so nice to do because it's all things numbers. The questions are about numerology, about what you've been seeing with your own numbers, and to learn more about how you can tap into that space for yourself. So I really want to talk about number signs more so this episode. It's very important, I feel, because a lot of us look for the number signs in the repeating numbers, the ones that are very obvious, like the 111s, the 444s, the 999s. And those are sequencing numbers. But really, numerology invites us to look at numbers coming to us in all forms. So, I really encourage you wherever you go, if you are pulled to a certain location, or if you're looking at the receipt of your meal or something you just bought, make sure that if you feel the need, like, I wonder what number is kind of following me, if there's any messages from the universe, add up what that number is. There might be 11 numbers on the ticket, on the receipt, that is your unique order. But when you break that down to a single digit, it does leave you a single vibration. And there are so many vibrations that follow us, and so many vibrations that mean certain symbols to us. So I encourage you also to learn what the vibrations of numbers are. It's kind of like, the tarot deck or an angel card deck, or if you're reading colors, even, you start to go, okay, what's the vibration of red? What's the vibration of blue? You might see the colors, you might see the numbers, but if you don't know what it represents, it sometimes can be difficult. Sometimes our clear knowing helps stimulate the message, and we are guided to what that is without even instruction. But I implore you to just go on your journey and always keep your knowing involved, no matter what the teacher is, no matter what the system is, no matter what Google or a book tells you. In your mind, go, does that make sense? Is that how I experience it? And because you experience it differently doesn't mean that it's not wrong or it's right. It just invites you to really understand what truth is, and to really don't just take on every single thing that you read the description of. And so I'm always a big believer in that, no matter what spiritual work we're doing. So, hello, everybody coming on in. Hello, Samantha, Nicole, Stacia, Gina. Let's give shout outs to people. Samantha, Nicole. Yes, hello. Gina O. Okay, we got some questions or some comments here. Okay, so Samantha, I've been getting lots of numbers lately. It's comforting for me and maybe a sign of changes coming my way. Um, I get 444 at least once a day. Oh, that's really cool. If you're getting things so often, I go through pockets of time where I'm, um, hitting things several times a day, but I don't always get that. Um, I really love when it shows up that often, at least once a day. Um, that might happen to me for a couple weeks, but there's some people who get that routinely. Um, and so that's a three vibration. So we're talking a lot about learning about what it is at its essence when numbers come to us. So 444 is um, a 3 vibration being used as well as the 4 vibration energy being used. But the 3 vibration is the strongest force here. Even though there's so many fours. I know it sounds funny, but with numerology, you look at like the essence behind what's the energy it brings when it all comes together. So that's a 3 energy because 4 plus 4 plus 4 is 12. And 1 plus 2 is 3. Okay. Exactly. So it implores you to speak your truth. 3 is really powerful when it keeps coming to us because it goes, you have to speak what's on your mind. You have to be authentic with what is in your emotions and sharing them. So not only feeling them, but sharing them. And sometimes we share things before we think and feel. And that is still 3 energy. We just have to share it. We have to make sure it comes forth. We have to make sure that things are heard and we can't overthink it. We have to make sure that that energy is outside of us. So it also invites us to be more social. It invites us to connect because 3 energy is energy that cannot be experienced alone. That's the biggest lesson of the 3. You have to not be isolated. You have to make sure that there are exchanges of energy present. 3 is a very, very social and communicative number. Every artist, every poet, writer, or person who's consistently, let's say, out in the world and in the limelight, they have a 3 somewhere in that energy, or a 9, which is 3 times 3. So they have energy that's made to be shared and they can't help themselves. Even if they back out of it, they find themselves on a platform of sharing. Okay. So hello, everybody. Let's see, Samantha. It might just be me, or is your sound a little bit off? Oh, yeah. Hmm. Let me try to fix that a little bit. Thank you for the comment. My it could be my internet. I hope it's not my mic. It could be my internet. The internet's been really um, wonky these past couple of days, so it could be that if people continue to have sound problems with me, with how you hear me, let me know because I will try to finagle it, right? I'll do my best. Thank you for letting me know. Hello, Michael Christopher. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for saying hi. Gina says it's a great thing to know. I'm a 5, but I do everything alone. Okay, that's why it's the invitation. It's basically saying get out there, and we don't have to do things in crowds. Um, the more you have 3s in your chart, the more you'll be thrusted into that at times. But you don't have to do anything in crowds, and you could even like I'm I, I'm in my house, right? I'm in my house right now. But I'm on the internet, and I'm connected to different like sources. So I'm alone, but I'm not alone. Does that make sense? So as long as you are connected and there's more people involved, you're fulfilling it. So there's many different ways to not be alone. Sometimes things are overwhelming, but you don't have to still be alone. Okay. So it's important to open your mind with that. We are social beings. Humans are social beings, even though we all have preferences. We're also very different, but it is important that we co create and we inspire each other and we get opportunities through one another, through just sharing our energy. Okay. Okay, good. I'm glad that people are saying that the sound is okay for the most part. Thank you for letting me know. So let me know if you have any number questions. In a little bit, we're going to go into some readings. Um, we are going to be taking some questions and also number readings. So if you have a question, like it could be a psychic reading. Absolutely. But in order for me to tap into that, because we're doing the numerology hour, please put down your birth date with the question that you have. And it'll let me go into the energy of the question through the energy of you with your birth chart. Now, if you're not comfortable with your year, that's okay. Please put your month and your day. That's more than enough information for me. Just put your month and your day. And please write out your month, because sometimes in the UK or Australia, the way that we do months and days are backwards, and I could be getting your birth date wrong, okay? Because I could be flipping it, right? So thank you, everybody. Please put down your numbers in just a second, and that lets me know that you're open to being read, and that you are okay with it. I'm all about consent. Okay. So away we go then. So if there's no more number questions, let's go into some readings. I'm gonna go to Deliciously Cavalier, and then Stacia, and then we'll go to Amy. And then we will continue to pick. So, Deliciously Cavalier, um, life path 9, any guidance? Absolutely. If you could pop down your day and your month, I could give you further guidance. But let's go into it, because I don't need much to talk about energy. This is what I love, whether someone is like, I don't want to share my birth dates or how old I am, none of that's really needed. The numbers have energy of their own. So let's go into it. Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. So, life path 9. Um Now, our life path, because every single calculation lets us know about who we are. The life path lets us know who we are becoming, what we have interest in, and what lessons that we need to make sure that our energy knows in the vibration of, in this case, 9. And the life path number, you can't lose your way. You're always going to find your way back to the vibration of 9, and making sure that your life fulfills some of these ideologies, interests, like I said, and lessons. So 9 is all about self-sacrifice, forgiveness, with family, with people. The 9 is a humanitarian number, and naturally, even without thinking, it automatically wants to help. So it finds itself, for people who have life path 9, they find themselves in precarious situations a lot of, wow, I did a little bit too much here. How did I get myself into that situation? And usually it's for good intentions. And it's usually very empathy based why you end up with the people that you do and the places that you do end up. 9 doesn't have a set of rules that is conventional. So again, you'll find yourself in precarious situations at times, and it's not because there's black and white reasons. So, the number one guidance that I tell people with Life Path 9, again, I'd have to see more numbers to make it very specific for you. But across the board, it's making sure you have good boundaries with people, because 9 is a people number, and 9 is the number of surrender and self sacrifice. So, you will find yourself giving the shirt off your back to people in certain situations, where sometimes you go, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Sometimes I don't even know why I did that. It just seemed like a thing to do. Okay. Nines are very natural channelers too, as well, since they are selfless. They link to the collective a lot, and they have to learn how to be in their own energy. They have to learn how to be in their own energy the most out of any number. 9 is a very creative frequency. And again, they can channel really easy. They can channel music or creativity, drawing, writing. It's a genius number, and it's a genius number linked to creativity. Like certain numbers are more cerebral and certain numbers are more creative. And 9 definitely embodies all the numbers, but it's a much more creative, people, amorphous vibration rather than linear and cerebral. So my number one thing I will recommend is boundaries and forgiveness with people who did not know better. And you creating boundaries so when someone approaches you that does need help, that doesn't know better, you can say, I'm going to choose to greet you, or I'm going to choose to be around you like this. And um, I'm listening to my internal compass, even though I'm aware of your plight or I'm aware of what you're going through. And anything that I have done in the past, I'm going to make peace with and move forward. And now I know how to make sure I don't put myself in as many jams. Okay. So that's what I would give to the 9, and have fun. Have fun. Life is going to put you in a lot of unique situations. Have fun, but have boundaries. Okay. Exactly. Okay. I'm having to starting to set boundaries, starting to say no. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Universal life path 9 theme. And the more nines you have in your chart, or the more people numbers you have in your chart, so that's going to be the 3, 6s, and 9s, the more this will be, and also if you have a 2 in your chart too, the more this will be amplified with how you need boundaries. Okay. Oh, I like that. You pop down your numbers for 2 seconds. I'll do one further, and then I'm gonna go to I think Gina was next. Oh, Stacia was next, excuse me. Making sure I get a fresh piece of paper. All right. I had a small piece of paper here, but I don't feel like using that, so I'm grabbing a larger one. Okay. So, oh, interesting. So you're an attitude 9 as well. Yeah. So you're a personal day 8, and you are. Is that right? No, I'm thinking backwards because you put it. I'm thinking American, and I started switching up the numbers. You're in a different country. The way you pop that down, you have to be okay. So you're a personal day 8, and you're an attitude 2. Here we go, and then you are uh, 7. Yeah, that's right. And then you're a life path 9. I always double check. That's just something I do. So, and then that would make you being in a cycle of 1. So, okay, yes. Um, the boundary thing is very important, and then you being an attitude 2 as well um, highlights that you are very, very sensitive around people. You have an excellent. I always tell people who have attitude 2s an excellent BS meter. You get overwhelmed by people at times because you take on so much energy. Sometimes you feel burnt out on a regular basis and you need to take breaks. So the 2 and the 9 makes you much more sensitive to people because those are high sensitivity numbers. You have a personal day 8, so depending on like your mood, people actually will give you space. People actually are very kind of reactive to what energy that you're putting out. So that's kind of nice because it's like a protective layer. But once someone gets into your space, that's when you're just like, oh, yeah, maybe I shouldn't do this and that. But before they approach you, sometimes, like I think you've heard from friends or family, if you can validate this, they go, "Oh, I didn't," you came off intense. You came off intense, or I wasn't sure how to approach you. So, like the 8 is a number of physicality and power, and so it amplifies sometimes your emotions. So, if you're in a really good mood, you can pull people to you. If you're tired or burnt out or exhausted, people are going to feel that broadcasting off of you and go, "Oh, maybe I should give them some space." Okay, and 8 is a very mutable number. So sometimes you're not sure you're doing this, but I'm sure you've heard that from feedback from people. And please ask around to validate that if you don't know. So cycle of 1, the last thing I'm going to say, I'm going to jump to another person, is you're in a cycle of 1. And a cycle of 1 is a very positive time for the most part because you've ended a major 9-year cycle. And so if you can understand, like last year went by really quick, jumped around, and it was just like layers of yourself were just falling off. You started looking at things differently, you started to approach things differently. You felt like life was being breathed back into things in a different fashion, and you feel like it's really a testament of that this year. Things are definitely going differently this year, still changing, but different rules. So continue on with that energy and know that things are changing, even though sometimes you get evidence that it's still the way that it was. It's not the case. Do not believe the old story. Keep going forward into the new one because you get to rewrite it. All right. So I'm going to give you that. And then I'm going to go to, it was Amy next. I think it's Amy next. Okay. So September 15th. You are a yeah, double six, so an attitude six, a personal day six, and you're in a cycle of 5. So a lot of changes for you, Amy. If you're in the house, let me know, Amy. If not, you can watch back. I think you're still in the house though. So a lot of changes this year. This invites you for always a job change or a skill change, because 5 is the number of, you guessed it, change. And it's a little bit of a faster, more chaotic number that keeps things on your toes, and it says, hey, we have to transform. Hey, we have to jazz things up. Hey, we have to make sure your way of life changes, not just an idea change. Let's go try something out. It might be fresh and different. No, this is, you have to add something to your life that's different, that redefines how you go about things. So a lot of times that's a job change for people, and a lot of times it's like wanting to move, either actually doing it or feeling like, hey, I could use a move around here. I need something different. Also, okay, good. I'm glad you're here, Amy. Also, it does invite travel. So let's see. Let me just. So if you're 5, um, just gonna check something here. I wanna. Oh yeah. So around September. Um, like it could be the end of August too, but you would have something planned. You would have a trip planned, because 5 always invokes like, hey, it's time to get out, and I want to make sure that that's done. And it, for people who are already like travelers, they'll have even more plans stacked up. But around August, September, that will invite you to, I feel like, go out of states. Out of state. So you're gonna be on a plane. And I feel like that is planned. If not, it will be planned quite soon. So if you know that already, Amy, cool. If not, hold tight because it's definitely in the air around that time. Um, you being an attitude 6, Amy, like you're very responsible, you're very hardworking, and you really are super generous to those that you love and adore. Like you will give them presents or take them out for dinner, and that's not like because you're trying to be extra sweet. It's just like a part of you that's very catering and nurturing. And 6, and you're definitely okay, so you can validate moving to another place. I feel like there's gonna be some type of trip though too around later. So uh email me later if that does come true. I always like true predictions. So with yes, you like to give gifts to others, and because 6 is, it's such a nurturing vibration, that it basically goes, let me take care of you. And it's like second nature. You are a personal day 6 as well, and so people feel very comforted in your presence in ways sometimes that catches you off guard. But You'll have people come up to you, even that you don't know or that you do, and they'll just tell you something random about their day. They'll be very divulging with information, and you'll be like, well, I know that secret about that person now, or whoa, okay, uh, that's a lot of information, but all right. So people just kind of like spill their guts to you, and it's kind of great because it encourages you to be more nurturing, which you naturally are, and create actually like friendships rather easily if you like the person. Your two sixes help ping pong that. Okay, so for some people, when they have more than one number that's similar in certain placements, it intensifies a part of their personality, and it makes sometimes things have more flow. And so that's what's going on with you with people. You can make connections easily, and so this is a great leadership number two as well, because when there's a lot of sixes present, I'd have to look at your life path with your birth date. But when there is a lot of sixes present, it invites people to step up in leadership positions if they want to. So you will always have leadership energy within your family, when your friends, like people will come to you for advice. You will bring groups of people together. And if you want to do that further beyond friends or family, you would get positions of like management, or positions where you can put together or organize events. You have very natural, let's bring people together, and people will listen to you on top of it. That's not so easy. Not everybody listens to people, believe me. Okay. But you have that very naturally. um Thank you for letting me know that. So let's see your life path. Oh gosh, so your life path six too. You're a triple six. You're a triple six. So when someone's a triple six, they have very, very intense nurturing energy, because anytime you have triple numbers in numerology, it's like an amplifier of your personality. Okay. So is that a good thing? Yes, it's a good thing. Don't worry about it. It's a good thing. Um, so no number is positive or negative. No number is positive or negative. Every number has positive attributes that can come out within in it, and like, challenging attributes that can come forward within it. That's every single number. And so it's just neutral. It's just neutral. So I'll tell you the positive and negative attributes, I guess you could call them, of a six. And so that would highlight like your personality at times. And so you can think about this and reflect this upon yourself. Um, so six, very protective with friends and family. You will put yourself on the line to protect others, and people love you for that because you're ride or die. When that is amplified too much, though, it can be like very, like you can have very biting energy because you are being protected. It's almost like a bulldog energy, like don't you dare, right? It's like bouncer energy, right? Um, and so it can be like very like intense, and because there's such a need and such a natural disposition to protect others, or to give your heart and wear your heart on your sleeve for those that you love, um, sometimes there can be a controlling aspect in play, because you always have energy to kind of do one more thing or to help one more way. And you'll be like, well, that could be different or that could be fixed. So sometimes, if there's too much energy of you wanting to help, it can be controlling, where you always know another way to make things more perfect or better or more, oh, this is definitely me. Okay, good. So you understand this. So it's like, if you notice that you're overdoing it, I would say step back, take a couple breaths, self care, because you're giving so much care to others. Self care, and also to disperse energies, put the care somewhere else, because if you feel like you're overdoing it, and maybe not, you might not know, so continue to understand that about yourself, then that already means there's more than enough attention that's been put to it, because you naturally go above and beyond. Okay. So with the sixth energy, ultimately, I would say to you, yeah, yeah. Well, you will be, you'll be one to give even love even harder. We all need temperance, and six really does need temperance. But you'll be able to give more the more that you self care and self love. Absolutely, absolutely. And at the end of the day, sixes just wanna hear thank you. That's all they want from the people that they love. They just wanna hear thank you. So if somebody is falling short and you love them and they don't, let's say they're dense or they don't know how to appreciate you, just say, "Hey, like, I would just appreciate you just telling me thank you, or you seeing the things that I do." Okay? And, if they care about you and they've paid attention to that, they will say thank you more. And sometimes you have to guide people how to love you because you naturally know how to love other people very strongly. So I'm going to say that to you within that, and just more temperance with how you use your energy. And you always have a lot of energy to burn. So if you want even more, yep, self care, self love. All right. All right. So I'm going to go to Stacia. Okay, Stacia. She was next. Rex is here with me. If you're drawn to his birthday, okay, cool. Hi, Rex. So we have a lot of nines. He's an attitude nine. He is a personal day seven. He is a life path. His life path one, I believe. I'll just double. Yep, he's a one. Yep. And then so he's in a cycle of nine. Yep. No. He's in a cycle of eight. Brain likes to dart sometimes. Okay. So he's in a cycle of eight. So we talked about it on the show earlier. You're welcome, Stacia. Nines are notorious for needing boundaries. They overdo it, they take on too much. Um, Sometimes they don't know how to say no. A nine always finds a way. And that's especially true with an attitude nine. They don't know how to do things sometimes, but they just go, I'll figure it out. Or, they will be put in a corner and they will figure it out, whether they like it or not. So nine is a natural survivor number. There's always information present that the nine can like tune into to survive and to keep going. It also is a placement where they're forced to grow up fast. It's a placement where the parents within their life weren't as present, or sometimes they acted like children themselves. So the nine had to grow up and either take on different types of responsibilities than a child would, or decided, hey, you're not exactly my kind of people right now. So they would want more space and autonomy, and they would have created that at a younger age. Um, Rex has a personal day of seven. And when people have a personal day, and remember, everybody, your personal day is a very external part of you. So it's not always intrinsically how we feel, but it's what people feel off of us. And it can get technical. Okay, you can understand what I said. Cool. So Rex gives off seven energy, so he appears to be very smart, actually, to people. Like when he's talking, when he's expressing himself, that he's a quick mind or exacting mind. Um, that he's always like, fresh with ideas or has something to share and give. And the seven is like a very cerebral vibration. It's a number that makes people feel like, oh, you must be busy, you must be off in your head, you must be thinking. Okay, so people kind of respect that in a way, and so they give sevens a lot of space because they think the seven has other things to be thinking about rather than, I guess, entertaining them at times. So with seven energy, sometimes people will feel like why is no one like talking to me, or like why why aren't people approaching me? Why aren't people coming to me? And they could be like very extroverted and very open. So I always say to the sevens, in this placement, go and connect to people. Go to people, rather than waiting for people to come to you. Okay. The great thing is, if you are entrepreneurial, or if you are inventive, or let's say you want to try a new approach at work, people are more likely to listen to you because they feel that logic and that reasoning energy within you, and they go, well, the guy's smart, so why wouldn't I listen? Let me think it over. Why not? It's not a bad idea. Well, you have another number, pitch in, let's say, an unconventional idea. Someone would not listen, be like, that's a horrible idea, that's a flaky idea, that's a harebrained idea. But for a seven, people are more likely to listen. So use that to have yet Rex use that to his advantage. Um, will always get kind of unconventional ideas across. And we like that in the world. We need more unconventional ideas and approaches. Um, so life path one, again, there's no coincidence that I said like inventions or entrepreneurship, because within the life path one, he would be encouraged to go his own way, go his own direction. Ones, they represent leadership within doing something different or leading others. And making sure that, you know, ideas are passed along and received and implemented. Um, One is a very mental vibration too, as well. It's a fire vibration, but it's also an area vibration. And so, depending on which way an individual leans, they are either creators with their one energy, or they're unifiers within their energy. So, Rex is going to figure out which one he wants to do with that more so than the other. And I think that's important to distinguish ultimately. He's in a cycle of eight. So, I think I mentioned this. I think Rex came up and I talked about he's in a cycle of eight for this year. Um, but this is a year of really making sure that the body is well taken care of, that the body is well taken care of. And I keep getting like the words like lubrication, and like that's with joints, and making sure like chondroitin, like magnesium, like all those joint, like a hyaluronic acid, they're supplements, right? I'm making sure there's joint activity and lubrication of the muscles. I also want to look out for like one of the arms too. I don't know which arm, but I'm looking at the elbow and kind of like the bicep, and making sure everything's like working and loose and limber. Okay, yeah, yeah, that's what I thought. And making sure that there's limberness within the body, because the body like feels crunchy. And it feels crunchy like all over. It feels crunchy within like my shoulder area, like behind my shoulder. I don't know what this part is, but like the joint behind the shoulder, that area feels like crunchy, as well as like the legs area, those feel crunchy. And like the neck area, and like the base of the neck. And so I don't know if he's into yoga at all, but like stretching and just mobility, joint mobility is really, really important. Um, I feel like there's also going to be like a game changer. I don't, maybe he already does this. I don't know. Maybe he's already done this. It could be something I've tapped into that he already does. But there's a game changer with like a green drink or a green smoothie. Um, and there's some type of nutrients that are going to help like alkalize his body, or to make him feel like he's not has having as much inflammation in those areas. I also got flashed all of a sudden. What is that? It's like activated charcoal to eliminate some like toxins in certain areas. I don't know, but it makes me think of activated charcoal, bentonite clay. It's taking me to those areas where there is additional things that need to come out of the joints, the joints and the skin and the muscles to help ease things up. Okay. Um, Float therapy, all the shebang. I also feel like sound healing is really important for him too on like on a vibrational frequency because there's so many things that are tight. Like his mind is fluid, but the body is very, very tight. And I feel like sound vibration. So I'm like, it's like cymbals or like a gong. It could be a gong, but all of a sudden it was like a crash, like a cymbal. But a gong is very much that brass kind of um, look too, and the sound vibration and the waves breaking up the muscles too as well. So very like we need creative therapies with sending energy to those muscles and those joints. And I feel like there could be actually a very big difference. It's not just a food game and supplement game. It's a all different directions game with the different healings. Okay. He does sound healing awesome. Um, just continue to look into the full body sound healing and the Reiki and the different modalities. Keep going. There's gonna be ones that are gonna like open that up. I keep getting like a lot of sound for him, like sonar, dolphins, and that energy. So the energy is gonna open up. The energy is gonna open up. I feel like in the next year next year into 2026, there's gonna be a big breakthrough with his body and his energy levels. I feel like that. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna take one more. Oh, and we're going back to some feedback. Let's see. True about the burnout. I felt like this 8 year was lucky for me. I do believe in astrology and combines with Vedic and Western plus tarot. Yeah, yeah. There's definitely multiple streams of energy information, and some of them are very very similar, and some of them are different. But there's crossovers. Yes, and I'm a big fan. I like looking into archetypes and learning about other things too, even though my main thing is numerology for the symbology. Let's see. Absolutely. Thank you, Amy. Um, and absolutely, Stacia. We need to put. Yeah, it will be fun. It should be fun. Like it'll be a blast, whatever it is, right? Whether it's healing or numerology or psychic. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna go with Nicole. Okay, Nicole, if you're still here, let me know. You said first time joining, and I can't remember if you said put a question with it. If so, how do I move forward spiritually and surrender more? Great question. Okay, let's look at your numbers with that. All right, so you are at attitude 4, personal day 2, and life path 9. And you're in a cycle of 3. Okay. So how to move forward? Well, the nice thing is the cycle of 3 that you have is helping you do that. This is actually a very nice year to help you move forward. 3 is a very open-ended vibration. It creates busyness, it creates movement, it creates like things to feel not so heavy, like a little bit more exciting. And that's the perfect conditions for feeling like things are not so overwhelming and scary. Like maybe I'll get it wrong. And I feel like that energy is kind of within you sometimes. Like you want things to be done well and right. And even like when you're just like, I'll get over it, there's like an apprehension, and you're a little bit like quiet and introverted at times, because you just don't feel always so comfortable. Um, and so, if you're still with me, Nicole, let me know. I know people pop in and out. But I'm aware of this, like, this gearing up that you've given yourself. Okay, thank you. You're here. Thank you. I appreciate that. So this gearing up that you've, like, have been saying to myself, hey, I kind of have to get out of my shell, or I just have to do it. Well, I can't always do it, but I want to be more of this person. And I feel like just because you've intended, that it will happen. And so certain people have more difficulty than others. And I just feel like it's breaking up, like sometimes slowly, but it's breaking up. So if you're wondering when is it going to hit, it's just you're already doing it. And I feel like by next year, you're going to have more indications of, like, hey, that didn't feel so bad. Even though I have anxiety sometimes, that didn't feel so bad. Okay. So it's like coming into the realization that everybody's just figuring it out and kind of winging it themselves, and feeling like, oh, other people are just as scared or even more scared than me. And I'm starting to, like, see that, like, spirit is starting to show me that, or people will look like they're accomplished or act like they're all accomplished. But I just, like, again, through my own observation in spirit, like, I actually see that they were kind of like faking it until they make it, or they even lied. And I found out that they did, and they aren't so, on top of things. Exactly. 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 And so that's what I'm saying. It's coming a lot sooner. Like into next, it's coming now and it's coming into next year. You're seeing that and you're just like, oh, okay. People don't know what the heck that they're doing. And so, since you care, and this is like a huge thing, like integrity is a big thing, and you have integrity. If you have integrity and a little bit of courage, and just work on that muscle of courage, and work on that muscle of trusting, especially if you've intended for spirit to put you into good situations with people and things, and to trust your gut. Um, Put the courage into the mix, because, like, that's the number one thing that people need, and what people actually crave and desire. They crave people to tell the truth. They crave people to be honest and integrous, and for people to care, and for people to actually want to, go and above and beyond. And a lot of people, they're so overwhelmed, they kind of like put some of those things on the back burner, and they go, well, this is just how the world works. And so all you need to do is step up and be like, um I approach this like this because I care, and I'm not going to back down within that. And I'm gonna go and approach things where I feel it sits well, and I feel like that will put you in a lot of good situations, and the good people will find you if you broadcast that. Yes, yes, yes. So it's a big deal to me, but I can feel like it's a big deal to you. Okay. And I feel like, you just need courage to make sure that you get from A to B within that, because the good people will find you and give you opportunities, because that is an energy that is really invaluable. And I've learned a lot, especially this year and last year, that energy truly is currency. And so it seems like invisible. It seems like, well, like intentions and everything. Sure, yes, you can feel energy off people. Yes, you can, you know, understand people's intentions, and that's very valuable. But people can actually, like, feel like the energy that you give, and you give energy to environments, and you co-create that for people. And people really, really do long to be in environments and to be uplifted, and to really create betterment and safe havens for themselves amongst the wonkiness of the world. So you have all this good energy inside of you. All you have to do is be brave, with knowing that it will be stabilized the more that you put yourself out there, and the more sometimes you just take a deep breath and a leap of faith, and saying, I think I'm supposed to be here. I might muck it up, but I think I'm supposed to be here. And the beautiful thing is, if you're supposed to be a certain place or with a person, you can't muck it up. It will just feel mucky as you're doing it. Okay. So you might feel mucky as you're doing it. You can't muck it up, though. So I'm gonna give that to you. I think you're exactly where you need to be. Just have courage, have bravery, and ask spirit for it. Ask your guides. I feel like you're connected to your guides. Ask your guides to show you a symbol of courage, to give you a symbol of courage, what that looks like. And every time you're in doubt, I want you to look at that symbol and feel that symbol. You can hold that symbol, you can put it on your body, but create a symbol, get really interactive with your symbol, and they will feed your light. Okay, so I'm gonna give that to you, Nicole. And Gina, yes, energy is our greatest gift. Sometimes it can be very weak feeling. Sometimes it can be so subtle that we go, well, why isn't energy changing, or why isn't energy why can't we get this done? But the reality is, as we train our energy, it gets stronger and stronger, and it binds with our physicality. And once we bind our energy with our physicality in a way where we can utilize it and have intention and awareness with how to cultivate that, then energy is very powerful. And when we merge it within the physical, it's way more powerful than things that are just physical. Energy can cut through the physical. It just takes a little bit more time. So, with that said, everybody, keep your head high, even when the waters make you feel like you're drowning. But keep your head up high, and know that we're all here on Earth to have lessons so unique to us. We've all come to Earth with unique conditions that we have chosen, I believe, to a certain extent, that are tailor made for us. So, yeah, they're going to feel sometimes hard for us, but not hard for another person. Or we're going to have unique gifts and talents that seem easy to us, but are prized by another person. So it goes so many different directions. And so, since it does, the more we get in touch with how to calibrate our energy, the more we can handle the different directions of how life takes us and where it sends us and what to do with it. Because there are a lot of directions to go. There really are. And when we have mastery in some areas, and we're always working on it, believe me, we can choose to go up, or where the currents have maybe pushed us left or right or down. We can choose. And when we become strong enough, we can make sure we're always going up. So, with that said, I send you a lot of love. I send you a lot of light. I will see you next week for the Psychic Hour, and also for the lovely shows with Jennifer Rose and Deborah Romero on Wednesday and Friday as well. Please go with love, luck, light, and don't forget to live, everybody. See you next week. Take care. Thank you.